Hey guys, it's me Giuseppe, and today I'm at the At Home store to see their new for 2026 Halloween decorations. So let's go see them. Okay, so starting right here, we have some inflatables. They have a 12-foot boxer dog inflatable, a skeleton dog, and this pumpkin stack right here. And then they have a witch pouring into a cauldron inflatable. And up here, they actually have a lot of them on display. They have this minion one. Actually, it's two minions. And then another skeleton minion. And then they have this dragon. And then they have Snoopy and Stitch right there, which is super cool. Stitch and a pumpkin. They have the rest of them in the boxes. There's actually some over here that I'll show you in a minute that are the rest of the inflatables. So you should get to see all of these in this video. They're just all being sold in boxes right here. But this one's really cool. It's like a race car with a pumpkin head guy driving it, which is super cool. But anyways, let's go see what else they have. Okay, right here they have these cool 7 feet hanging ghosts. They have a white one. Then they have this one who has like ropes on like where his arms would be. And then they have this 6-foot one that has a light inside of its head. I'll show them all for you guys, like zoomed out. And right here they have a 7-foot hanging witch, which I believe also does have LEDs in its head so that you can see it when it's on. It'll light up in the head. And they have these 2 cross-shaped gravestones, which this one is actually $149, and this thing is heavy duty, so that won't blow over in the wind if you have it in your yard or anything. But anyways, let's go see what else they have. Okay, so right here they have this really cool guy. It's the 4-foot rotten pumpkin groundbreaker, and I'll show him to you. They have 4 of him in stock from what I can see right now, but he's really cool looking. He's up on top of the shelf, so he's pretty high up and he looks a lot bigger, but he probably is still very big on ground. But he has, looks like green LEDs inside of his torso and in his jack-o'-lantern head, which is super cool. And he's like a groundbreaker, kind of like Rattles the skeleton, but he's super cool. But anyways, let's go see what else they've got. Okay, so now starting off with the inflatables. First up, we have the 12-foot air-blown Halloween light spooky black tree inflatable. And he has kind of like flame lights inside of his mouth, which is super cool. And I always love the good old spooky tree Halloween decorations. So it's super cool to see this inflatable here in store today. And then we have another guy that I remember seeing on the boxes a couple minutes ago. It's like a vampire little pumpkin guy, which is super cool. He's looking pretty cool. And then we have this 4-foot pink witch inflatable, which is super cool. These are nice little inflatables if you just want to have some in your yard, which is super cool. Then we have this huge one once again. This is like a snow globe, which is usually for Christmas, but this one is Halloween themed. Has a huge witch hat on top that looks like sparkly of some sort. And then it has 2 ghosts inside, and looks like it's just like that. It doesn't have like a snowing effect or anything, which I don't expect it to because it's for Halloween anyways. And then right here we have the other one that was in the box earlier, the witch pouring potion into a cauldron. I didn't notice this on the box. There's actually eyeballs in the cauldron, which is super cool. But there's that. And then right here we have the 10-foot jack-o'-lantern stack, which looks almost the same height as a 12-foot tree, but I must be just seeing things or something like that. And it has a ghost coming out from the behind, which is really cool. But anyways, let's go see what else they have. Right here we have like a groundbreaker type inflatable, and it has this jack-o'-lantern guy as the head of it, and he's in like kind of a reaper outfit, but he also has like flickering flame effect lights as if it was a real jack-o'-lantern inside, which I always love to see. Then over here we have this campfire thing. We got a little ghost. Then we got a pumpkin that they're roasting marshmallows off, or at least the ghost is. And then we have the little Grim Reaper guy right here. He's just kind of chilling by the fire. Looks like he's trying to warm up his hands or something like that. And then we have this cool Gobble Till You Wobble. I'll move this plug out of the way. It's in the way of him, but it's a, well, Thanksgiving/fall type inflatable, which, I mean, it's supposed to be for Halloween, but I guess you could throw Thanksgiving in too since there's not as much stuff. But anyways, let's go see what else they have. And right here we have that other one I saw, the 12-foot boxer dog inflatable, which is absolutely huge. And I guess it is about the same height as the tree. The tree is 12 foot with the little roots at the top. But here he is, and he has a little Halloween basket in his mouth. And this guy's absolutely huge, and it's super cool to see him now. And over here by his feet, looks like it's the same inflatable, but it's actually separate. It's just a bunch of little happy jack-o'-lanterns. And then another separate inflatable, this little stack right here. And right here we have a Halloween dog pillow that fell off the shelf. And over here is the rest of them, and that's where that actually went. And a bunch of other cool Halloween pillows. And then over here, we have this guy that looks like the skeleton groundbreaker that I'll show you in a couple minutes. But it's an inflatable version if you like inflatables better. And we have this giant black cat inflatable, which is actually awesome looking. He's probably the biggest inflatable here. And look at that, with his little sharp teeth smile. He looks so cool. And then we have some other inflatables, a ghost, and those are some of the Halloween dogs that we saw. Look at that Headless Horseman. I'll give you guys a closer view of him. All right, yep, so right here is the Headless Horseman, and he actually has an effect. It's a moving inflatable, so the horse goes up and down like he's trying to like run away with it or something, which is super cool. And then over here, we have this cool little light up ghost guy, and it's a baby otter, which I've never seen as a Halloween inflatable, so that's really cool. This is the one I was talking about a second ago. It's like a Formula One type race car with a pumpkin guy driving it, which is super cool. And there's a little ghost trying to hang on the back. But anyways, let's go see what else they've got. And right here, we have probably one of the biggest things in this store besides the black cat, the 10-foot animated LED-eyed skeleton. And he's been here at this store, I think for the past 2 or 3 years I've seen him. But he got an upgrade this year, as their new Halloween theme, I believe, I saw on a trailer, is actually Wild West / cowboy. And he has a little skeleton in his hand. But the cool part is that he has a little cowboy outfit that I believe you can buy separately. And I think they sell a Santa one too, which is super cool. But anyways, let's go see what else they've got. Okay, so over here, they've got these really cool ghost things, and they're just kind of like little LED lights. This one has a witch broom, and that one actually is a dog, I believe, which is super cool. And then we go into this aisle, and they have these really cool blow molds and gravestones. And so we have like a Nutcracker type pumpkin guy, which is super cool, and we have them all throughout the lane right here. We have this LED tombstone, which I'll try out. I don't know if you can hear, but he is making noise, which is super cool. I'll turn on this one as well. Okay, that one must not work or whatever, because it wasn't turning on. We do still have some summer outdoor furniture and stuff over here. It's being invaded by the Halloween decorations, which is super cool. And then we have some other generic gravestones. These ones are made out of plastic. They're much lighter. And then we have this. Looks like a creepy little jack-o'-lantern tree guy, and wow, actually, that's awesome. He has a flaming effect that looks like an actual candle lit inside of him. And then we have a pumpkin stack blow mold, a black cat on top of the pumpkin blow mold, which is always super cool to see. And this is a blow mold that I've always seen, and I always really like these. This ghost blow mold with a pumpkin in his hand. I don't know why I always think he's so cool, but I always feel he is. Over here, I just found this back here. It's a little skeleton arm stake that you can put in the ground. I'll stand him up right there, which is super cool. But yeah, we have these pumpkin ghost blow molds, nutcrackers, all this cool stuff. And over here is what I'm really excited to see. Over here, we have the animated 6-foot Reaper Groundbreaker. He is huge. I saw him online a couple days ago, and I didn't realize how big he actually was. I thought he'd be maybe like 4 feet like the other guy. But this is probably the biggest groundbreaker we'll see all day. Here's his box right here, the details. That's the picture of him. And he's an animatronic too, so he will light up. So let's see that. It's the try me button. And
so good of you to drop by. We've been expecting you. The chamber ahead is where the fun begins.
he was super cool, and I'll run him one more time. It says display only, but that's for this guy. But anyways.
Welcome. Right this way. We've been dying to meet you.
He's super cool, but anyways, let's go see what other animatronics that we can find in this store. Right here, we have some cool things that I always like, some mini animatronics, and I'll turn all of them on for you guys. We have the witch. We have this cool butler guy.
In this house, people have been known to vanish without a trace. Please beware.
We have this cool Reaper guy right here. This one's not working, but this one does. It's kind of like a dancing prop. Then we have a pumpkin guy. I don't see a try me button. Okay, looks like I'm not gonna get to run this guy. And we have another dancing Reaper right here, which is super cool. But anyways, let's go see what else they've got. Right here, we have some cool pathway lights. We got skeletons doing hand gestures, ghosts. I'll turn this one on. And a pumpkin one that's really cool. They just light up, they don't make any noise. And we have these rotten skulls as well that also light up in their eyes, which is super cool. And then over here we got some more on the other side, just the same ones that were over there, but they're still super cool. But anyways, let's go on and see the giant skeleton groundbreaker. Right here, we've got these cool ghost phantom type things with a skull in their hand, and these are also pretty heavy duty. It's a porch decoration, so it makes sense, but yeah, it's still super cool. Then we got some smaller indoor decor. It's like a cup with a bat on it. This is actually really cool looking. Here's all of them. I like the bat, he's cool. And then we have this little vase type thing that's like a skull, which is super cool. And we have a skull incense holder. I've never seen something like that before. Some smaller gravestones and stuff. But anyways, let's go see what else they've got. Right here, I just saw these. These are these cool black skeleton throne things. And this is like actual cushion or... Okay, no, it's hard, but it's still super cool. And I bet these are pretty expensive, but they'd still be worth it to have in a Halloween haunt or display. And they're super cool looking, but yeah. And then we got some candles, skeletons and stuff over here. And we have this huge gravestone, which is super cool looking, but yeah. And then down there, we got some other skeletons and stuff. And look at this. A spooky bench. It's actually heavy duty. It would be for real sitting on, it looks like. But yeah, it's super cool. Right here, we have the 6-foot faceless phantom, which is super cool looking. And on the box, it appears that he has a hand with a lantern, but I cannot quite find that unless actually I look over here. And this looks pretty much like it, which is super cool. And, well, here's his hand holding onto the lantern. I don't know how, someone must have broke it off or something. And right here we have like a knob. Does this actually turn? Yes, it does. And it actually adjusts the light amount for the lantern, which is super cool. Actually, that is very cool. And I do believe he is for outside. I could be wrong, but yeah, indoor, outdoor use. So this has to have some kind of waterproofing, because if it's just a normal battery lantern, I mean, I feel like it would get ruined in the rain. But yeah, and we have these laying down type skeletons over here and under here, knocked down, but have this cool skull sack that I'll try to lift up for you guys. Okay, now I see why he's laying down. He doesn't quite lift up under there, but that's him on an angle as well. The shelf is kind of obstructing him from standing up, but that's okay. Right here we have him again. We have those laying down skeletons. We have these gravestones, which I think were also over there that I showed. And here for the at-home 10-foot skeleton, you can buy the cowboy costume, which is kind of the theme of like their Halloween store. This year, I'll show you some of the Wild West stuff in a minute. And then they also have a Santa costume, which is just a full-on Santa suit, which is actually awesome. But yeah, got a big stock. If you want some, show up to At Home and buy some. If you have the 10-foot skeleton already, or if you're gonna buy him, the cowboy costume, I don't know if they're gonna sell it next year, but it is for the theme this year, so you'll have to find out. But anyways, let's go see what else they've got. Alright, so under here, we got these big skulls that light up inside, which are super cool. And they have like a single light inside, if you can see it in the very back right there, which is pretty cool. The light is red, so I'd assume that looks pretty cool. And they have this 7-foot tall skeleton. He's right there. I'll show him to you guys in a minute. We have a black skull right here and this other white skulls right here. And then we also have this cool skull. And these skulls actually I forget what company it is that makes them, but I recognize them from the 12-foot mummy from Lowe's in like 2022. It's the same face design and everything, which is super cool, and it's glad to see him, even if Lowe's doesn't sell it anymore. But yeah, they also have the black design over here, which I also think is super cool looking. But let's see this guy. Okay, so right here, we have the 4-foot skeleton Groundbreaker, and he's awesome to look at. He's similar to Rattles from Party City and the one from Costco. However, this one has an awesome football in his hand. This is some type of pillow that they sell in the store for, like, you know, like home goods, like just at-home goods. The store's named At Home after all. Right here, they have these like bones that you can make a Groundbreaker. I actually have something like this for my Halloween display back at my house. But yeah, here he is. He's super cool to look at. And right here is his hand, and it's actually disconnected to make it more of a groundbreaking effect. But this is a huge hand, by the way. But yeah, he's really big in real life. And over here, next to him, we have something that I believe I saw here last year. However, I don't know if those flowers are built in. I don't think they are. But this year it lights up, and it's the skeleton wheelbarrow. And actually below him, we have the skeletons carrying a coffin, which I have not seen actually put together and assembled yet at my trip to this store today. But I'll try to look out for him, because there's still a lot more stuff that I got to show you guys. But yeah, we got that black pumpkin and some stuff over here. But what I really think is cool is, here is the 7-foot skeleton that was folded over here. They got tons of him in stock. Here he is sitting down, and I assume he's actually much bigger standing up. But yeah, super cool. Over here, we got some generic mushroom decorations. This frog with like demon wings or something like that sitting on a mushroom. Some gravestones with a crying skeleton angel. And this, it's $80, and it's very heavy duty. Once again, this is one of the things that if you have like a graveyard setup or something, the wind will never blow this over. And then over here, we have like just like a single frog, which I actually think is pretty cool. We have a giant one, another giant one, and we have the little baby ones right here. They're all in a line right here. I'll turn some of them around for you guys to see. Here he is in my hand. He's actually pretty cool. He's $10, which is super cool. And we have also like, it's not real, but it's like a plastic Venus flytrap, which is super cool. Right here, we got some other Halloween little plushy things. We got, this is different actually. The other one was a violin. I was thinking it's the same, but this is a skeleton playing a banjo. I'll turn them on. Super cool. Their eyes light up as they play the banjo. Little mini animatronics. They're always cool. Some pillows, pumpkins. I was almost gonna say skeletons. I don't know why. They have like a hard and soft type mushroom in this basket with a bunch of soft little pumpkins right here, which are super cool. And then some other pumpkin stacks, this little wicker basket type thing. And of course, this thing is really cool. Jack-o'-lantern. And it says he has lights, however, not quite sure that this guy lights up, but he's still super cool. And up here we got some ghosts and other stuff, which is awesome. But anyways, now I'm going to show you guys the cool Wild West area, where they have probably my favorite thing I've seen today, which is actually super cool, the giant skeleton horse, which I have not seen at any stores in a very long time. Before I show him to you, actually, I found this cool creepy tree decor. As I said earlier in the video, I do very much enjoy creepy trees when it comes to Halloween. But yeah, looks like a mask almost, but it's a face and hands that you can hang on your tree. Here's a picture of him, and not sure how much he costs. He's $15, but yeah, not a bad price for what he is. And some wreaths. But now let's go see the giant skeleton horse. I take that back. I'll show the skeleton horse after a few more aisles that I found. We have these like neon pink skeletons. And they're all 5 feet, by the way. We have like glow in the dark green skeletons, which are super cool. They're like glow in the dark. They're like sort of transparent, but not exactly. And then we have black skeletons over here. And this guy actually has light up eyes, which is super cool. And then over here, some normal generic skeletons. But I have one more aisle to show you before I show you guys the actual normal giant horse, which is super cool. But anyways, yeah, I don't know why I said normal, just the giant horse. But yeah, and we have this, and his mouth actually opens, just like a little giant type skull, which is super cool. But yeah, super cool. This store has some awesome stuff every year, and I'm happy to come back whenever I can to see this cool Halloween stuff. But yeah, so let's go see the last aisle before I finally show the giant skeleton horse. Alright, so right here in this aisle, this is the last aisle of Halloween stuff, major Halloween stuff that I noticed. We got some creepy fabrics. Right here, we have a whole shelf of them, bloody dead heads. It's just like single heads, and he has pretty bloodshot eyes. And on the ground that just fell is a bloody dead foot. And it's a mixture, actually, because in here we have another bloody dead head, but also some bloody dead hands, which is pretty cool. These would be good for a graveyard. I have one like this that's on a chain for my display, which is super cool. But yeah, there's bloody dead arms, and then a light up spider cocoon. I did not see this on display. We have little cauldrons. I thought these were like ornaments for a second, and some cool wreaths. But yeah, some cool Halloween stuff, and a posable spider. But yeah, the rest of the bloody dead body parts and stuff. But down there they have some cool pumpkins. I'll walk up to them for a second. But yeah, besides that, I think now, well, little skeletons we actually have up there. They're in the other aisle. But yeah, I think now it's time to see the giant skeleton horse. Alright, so finally right here we have our Wild West Halloween type section. We got all these cool signs, a wanted, dead or alive thing that you can put your head in for like a picture or something. Another banjo type skeleton. We got like a wagon wheel right here, which is super cool. And the final big Halloween prop that I wanted to show all video, the giant skeleton horse. And he's about 6 foot in person, so a little bit taller than me. And he's super cool. But yeah, he's actually quite a bit taller than me. It's like a real size of like a small type horse, and it'd probably be cool to get, like, it probably isn't sturdy enough, but you could probably get up onto his back and it'd feel like sitting on a real horse. But yeah, he's super cool. 6 feet tall, of course. Looks like his eyes do light up. I not see a button or something. It must be a plug-in prop or something like that. But it'd be cool to put a skeleton or something on his back on Halloween. But yeah, super cool. Alright guys, this was a super cool Halloween tour. Here's the skeleton horse one more time. Compared to me, as you can see, he is a pretty big Halloween prop. But yeah, this was the At Home Store 2026 tour. It was super cool. They had a lot of Halloween stuff for mid-July. But yeah, super cool Halloween tour, and I hope to do more Halloween tours. But anyways, remember to like and subscribe, guys. Bye.